Chosen one, if you hear my voice now, stop everything you are doing. Do not scroll down. Do not look away. Do not regard this as just one of the common videos popping up on your feed, because God, who rules the universe, does not work by algorithms. God works through appointed promises, and now is the very time of the appointed promise for you. Listen carefully. God has just proclaimed a message in your life that shakes the spiritual world. He said just one word, tomorrow. But he did not simply say tomorrow. He issued a command that is the exact opposite of everything dictated by your logical reason. He said this, tell my chosen one to start packing their bags right now. It is not the time to start praying nor the time to make plans. It is the time to pack immediately. Haven't you felt it during the past 72 days? That anxious and restless energy felt deep within your soul. You must have felt the sudden urge to clean the house and to throw things out and to distance yourself from the people you have been forcing yourself to hold back all this time. You thought it was just anxiety. You thought it was just a fickle mood. But you were wrong. It is not anxiety. It is the spirit of extraction striking your spiritual mood. The movement of the Holy Spirit seeking to pull you out of there. God intends to move you very quickly, physically, spiritually, and financially. If you do not pack your bags and prepare before the sun rises tomorrow, you will be left alone in a season of the past that has already expired. I will give you the instructions for spiritual extraction for this massive move. I will show you exactly what to pack and what to burn. However, you must align yourself with God's timetable right now. If you are feeling that anxiety I just described, send the signal toward heaven right now. Listen to fixate on this prophetic frequency. Declare that I am listening and resolve deep in your heart that I have packed my bags. Do it right now. Do not receive this revelation passively. Now, chosen one, we must address the glitch you are feeling. That spiritual malfunction. You know exactly what I am talking about. It is that strange sensation where you are living your own life, yet it no longer feels like your own. When you wake up in bed and look up at the ceiling, for a very brief moment, you forget where you are. Even when you enter the familiar kitchen you have used for years, the air feels thin. The atmosphere of the space feels unfamiliar. You are not going mad. You are living in a rift between two timelines, a near reach. Look, in the spiritual realm, the shift has already occurred. God has already teleported your spirit to the dimension of tomorrow. However, your physical body remains lagging behind today. The vibrating anxiety and taut tension felt in your chest, or the friction attempting to pull your body toward a new season. Your spirit has already completed its move. Only your physical body remains in this old season, merely paying the rent. Due to this disparity between spirit and flesh, 3 specific signs signaling your spiritual eviction are currently appearing before you. I call this the eviction notice. You have likely already experienced the first 2 and may have been afraid because you did not understand their meaning. The first sign is a phenomenon I call cracks in the wall. Recall the last time you entered your living room or office. It might have been yesterday. As you looked around, everything suddenly appeared worn out. It wasn't just a matter of accumulated dust. It looked as if spiritual energy had vanished. You noticed cracks in the wall that you had never seen before. An inexplicable anger surged through you, as you looked at the clutter scattered on the chicken cot. Zoom in on that moment. You stand holding your car keys, staring at the space that was once your sanctuary, but now feels like a mere dungeon. The walls seem to be closing in. The ceiling seems to be getting lower. It is a surge of intense impulse to immediately run out the door or grab a trash bag and throw everything away. You are not making a fuss. Your spiritual eyes are opening. When God intends to move you, He makes your current nest uncomfortable. He breaks down the stale ground so that you do not fall into the temptation to stay. For if you still love the nest, you will never be able to fly. That is why He makes that nest look hideous. The second sign is noise in relationships. This is a more difficult and painful process. It happens when you talk with friends, family, or colleagues you have known for years. You might be sitting across from them at the dinner table. They are chattering about drama, gossip, news, and the weather, just as they always do. Normally, you would have laughed along and joined in the conversation. But this time, you hear only noise. Their voices sound distant. Watching their lips move, you think, why does this conversation feel so heavy? Why do their voices feel like they're sucking my path? You fiddle with your smartphone, plotting an escape and looking for an excuse to get up early. The moment you get in the car and close the door, the encroaching silence feels like medicine. Do you feel guilty? You might think that you have become cold or arrogant. Stop thinking that. That. You have not become arrogant. Your frequency is misaligned. Your spiritual frequency has risen, while they remain where they originally were. You are trying to tune into a station called tomorrow, but they are still broadcasting from a station called yesterday. The static you hear is the sound of a severed connection. God is severing the bonds of the soul. This is because you cannot carry the weight of death to where you need to go. I will tell you about the third sign shortly. It is the most intense sign. But before that, you must understand why it is so urgent. Why would God tell you to pack your bags right now? Why not next week? We must look at a biblical pattern that explains your special situation. The answer lies in Exodus chapter 12. When God led the Israelites out of Egypt, He gave very specific instructions on how to handle their final meal, the Passover. He got to. He did not tell them to savor the food leisurely and comfortably. Listen to the instructions in verse 11. Eat it in this way with your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. Eat in haste. Visualize that image. They are inside the house yet. They are dressed as if they are about to set out on a journey. They are wearing shoes. They are carrying suitcases on their backs. They eat standing up, swallowing their food in haste, their hearts racing, and their ears waiting for the signal to depart. Why? Because when a door opens, it does not remain open. When God's movement takes place, it is sudden, intense, and immediate. O chosen one, you are currently spending your own Passover night. That is the reason you cannot rest comfortably. That is the reason you cannot sit and watch a movie without guilt. That is the reason you cannot sleep. You are wearing spiritual shoes right now. You are holding a staff. Your spirit knows that the trumpet will soon sound and that you must not be wandering around, looking for your shoes when the clouds of glory begin to move. Now examine your body. Do it with me. Without moving your hands, shift your inner focus to the chest area just behind your breastbone. Do you feel that pressure? It will feel like something is bunched up, or like a butterfly flapping its wings too hard. Now look up to your throat. Do you feel a tightness at the very bottom of your vocal cords, as if a scream or a wail is trapped inside? That sensation is not anxiety. Doctors may call it panic. The world may call it stress. But I speak to you as a great agent of the Most High. That sensation is the physics of expansion. Imagine forcing a large size 280 foot into a small size 230 shoe. It hurts. It throbs. It feels as though the shoe is trying to crush your foot. But the shoe isn't crushing your foot. Your foot has become larger than the shoe. Your spirit has grown larger than your life. Your anointing has grown larger than your environment. That pressure in your chest is your mission pushing against the ribs of your current reality, screaming, let me out, let me out. We are too big to be in this room. We are too big to be in this job. We are too big to stay in this conversation. This leads to the third sign of spiritual eviction. It is the very sign I mentioned as being intense. The third sign is a sudden sense of aversion. This is deeper than a crack in the wall. It is deeper than the noise in a relationship. This is an instinctive and physical rejection of the things you once loved. Waking up in the morning and looking at the clothes in the closet, you feel sick and tired. Watching your favorite TV show makes you feel nauseous. Entering your favorite restaurant and smelling the food makes you lose your appetite. It is just like a spiritual vomiting reflex. Why does this happen? It is because God is making you show an allergic reaction to Egyptian. If you still love Egyptian food, you will turn back the moment life in the wilderness becomes too hard. Therefore, God must make your taste buds confront your past. He is making the taste of the old season as unkempt as ash in your mouth, so that you crave only the milk and honey of tomorrow. If you feel this aversion, do not try to fight it off. Do not pray to God to make you comfortable again. He will not answer that prayer. This is because God is the one who makes you uncomfortable. He is using aversion as a propulsion system to shoo up from where you are stuck. You have seen the sign. You felt anxious, a tightness in your chest, and a sense of revulsion. You know without a doubt that you are being evicted from this season, and you know that you must pack your bags. But now, listen very carefully to what I say. This is where most of the chosen fail. This is where the enemy lays a trap that looks like obedience but is actually destruction. You are ready to pack. You are ready to move. But you are about to make a fatal mistake. You think that packing is cleaning up mistakes. You think it is deleting old photos. You think it is blocking an ex on social media. These are good steps, but they are merely superficial measures. There is a trap waiting for you. It is the trap that has kept thousands of the chosen wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. It is the trap of faking. It is a trap that moves only your physical body to a new place while leaving the spiritual virus intact in the bag. If you do not understand what I am about to say, you will not merely miss tomorrow. You will turn your tomorrow into a repetition of yesterday. It looks like preparation, but in reality, it is procrastination. I will show you why the enemy is handing you the wrong suitcase and exactly what it is. That trap is what I call a carnal burden without spiritual severance. For example, it goes like this. You break up with a harmful lover. You block their number. You move into a new apartment. You even start attending a new church. Physically, you have packed your bags. Your body has moved. But at 2 a.m., your mind is still replaying past conflicts. Your spirit is still spying on their social media with a fake account. You have moved your body to the promised land, but in your long luggage you have smuggled in the spirit of Egypt. This is not extraction. This is contamination. If you move to a dimension filled with the bitter roots from the past, you will infect the new season before you even have a chance to blow out the suitcase. You are becoming a blessed one of the very viruses that God intended to heal you. This leads us to one of the most fearful warnings in the Bible. It is a story you may have misunderstood your entire life. We must look at the story of Lot's wife in Genesis chapter 19. It is a story you know too. God sent angels to rescue Lot and his family from Sodom before the fire fell. The command was simple. Flee to preserve your lives. Do not look back. However, as they fled, and their bodies were moving toward safety, Lot's wife looked back. And the Bible says she became a pillar of salt. I want to delve into this story with you because it is not simply a story about disobedience. It is a story about an incomplete packing. The Hebrew word used for look back is nabat. It does not simply mean glancing over one's shoulder. It is not a look back taken out of curiosity about a noise. Nabat means a yearning gaze. It means lingering attachment. It means regret. Her feet were running, but her heart was stretched backward toward her home. Her satisfied her comfort and her friends. Her body was in the future, but her soul was fully settled in the past. And because of that division, she became frozen. Why salt, of all things? Have you ever thought about it? Why didn't she turn into stone or ash? Salt is a preservative. It maintains the state as it is. It stops the process of change. When she looked back with longing, God gave her exactly what her spirit demanded. Did she want the past? Fine. She was preserved forever at that moment. She became a monument to a yesterday. The judgment for looking back when God tells you to move forward is stagnation. Stagnation. Chosen one. You too are in danger of becoming a pillar of salt. You are asking God for a new job, a new relationship, and a new ministry. But if He gives it to you today, you will turn it into a shrine to keep the wounds of the past. You are not yet ready to face tomorrow. It is because you are still secretly dating yesterday. So how should this be fixed? How should you pack your bags so that you do not freeze between dimensions? We will use a frame that I call the world of extraction. Visualize this picture in your mind right now. Imagine that you are in the center of your soul. It is a large room filled with everything you have collected over the years. Memories, habits, relationships, ways of thinking, and grudges. There are 3 boxes on the floor of this room. First box is red. It is labeled the incineration box. This box is for things that are harmful, sinful, and dead. Things that cannot be recycled. Things that cannot be repaired. things that must be incinerated. The bitterness regarding the parents who abandoned you goes into this box. The shame of a mistake made 5 years ago goes into this box. The phone number of the person who contacts you only when necessary goes into this box. Most of the chosen ones try to put these things in a warehouse. You shouldn't just hide this anger in the closet or put this harmful friendship on the shelf in preparation for when you get lonely. You cannot keep fire in a paper bag. If you try to hide these things, they will burn down your entire house. You must put them in an incinerator. And when you close this box, you are not just saying goodbye. You are making a vow. You are agreeing to the fact that all of these things will turn into sin, and that sin cannot be reassembled. Now look at the second box. This one is gray. It is labeled storage box. This is the box that makes everyone stumble. It is also the hardest box to fill. This is because the things that go in here are not bad things. They are good things that have expired. This box is for yesterday's victory. It is for relationships that belonged only to a specific season and were not eternal. It is for an anointing that worked last season but will not work next. As you know, you cannot attend a corporate board meeting wearing a high school baseball jacket. It was a magnificent cloak and symbolizes days of glory. However, if you wear it now, you will look immature. You will look like someone whose prime ended 10 years ago. Many of you are trying to bring old ways to new miracles. You intend to use the survival skills you learned to survive through wounds to enjoy God's blessings. But using survival skills in a safe place looks like paranoia. You must put them in the storage box. You must look at the ways of the past, kiss them, thank them for keeping you alive, and then place them in the gray box. It is not about burning them. It is about honoring them by leaving them in their proper place in history. Now, before I show you the most important third box, we must perform one subtle action together. We must practice filling the incineration box in the spirit right now. Think of a specific relationship, person, habit, or way of thinking that you deeply. Intuition does not fit in with your tomorrow. You know exactly what it is. It is the very thing that popped into your head the moment I speak. Visualize yourself holding a cell phone. Look at the name of that contact on the screen with your mind's eye. Zoom in on this moment. Feel the weight of the phone you lost. Doesn't it feel heavy? Look at your thumb hovering over the delete button. Watch it tremble. This is the spiritual battlefield. This is where the enemy whispers. But what if I need this person? What if I become alone? What if you make a mistake? Feel that resistance within your heart. That is the gravity of Sodom trying to drag you down. It is the soul trying to form upon your very. Now, take a deep breath into your heart. And as you exhale, watch your thumb press down firmly on the button. Click. It vanished. Feel the momentary state of panic washing over you. It is normal. It is withdrawal symptoms. Now feel what follows the panic, composure, silence, and the vacuum. And the dot can now fill. You have just tossed that bond of the soul into the incineration box. Now turn your gaze to the third box. This box is small. It is gold-colored and has a tag that reads, Guinea Baggage Box. The rules of Guinea Baggage are as follows. You may only put in items for which God himself has stamped a visa for tomorrow. Most of you try to pack too much. You want to take comfort. You want to take the desire for recognition. You want to take the standard. You want to take alternatives. However, there are strict weight limits for the flight to the next dimension. If it is too heavy, it cannot ascend. The only things allowed in guinea baggage are pure faith, pure wisdom, and the specific promises God has given you for the future.
Yeah.
That is all. Everything else is smuggled goods. If you try to sneak your desire for control into your long baggage, the detector will go off and your flight will be canceled. If you try to sneak your craving for people's recognition into your long baggage, you will miss your flight. This is why you feel as though you have been robbed of everything right now. This is why you feel as though you are losing everything. You are not losing anything. You are becoming lighter. God is emptying your pockets. No, this is because He knows that the mountain ahead is new and ahead is treacherous, and you cannot climb it carrying a sofa. You must look back on your life and ask yourself a fearful question. If you can take only your relationship with God, is that enough? If the answer is no, then you have not packed your bags. You are clinging to Jang Toshank. This is your guideline. There is an incinerator for sin and wounds, a storage box for good things past their expiration date, and a long piece of luggage to hold essential faith. Now you have the framework. You know what to do. It makes logical sense. However, something happens when you stand there staring at these boxes on a spiritual level, taping them shut and preparing to walk out the door. The lights in the room flicker. The temperature drops, and you feel a cold hand on your shoulder. You have learned the skill of packing, but you have not yet faced the emotion that you must leave. You will come face to face with what I call the shadow of departure. There is a voice inside your head screaming louder than ever before. It is not the voice of an enemy. It is a voice coming from much closer. It is the voice of your own survival instinct, presupposing that you return to familiar pain. If you do not prepare for what this voice will say to you over the next hour, you may cast aside your long luggage and jump back in to the flames. That voice is not the devil. It is something much more cunning. It is the voice of your own fringes disguised as wisdom. It whispers, think rationally. Don't cut ties. What will you do if you leave and the new place is worse than here? What will you do if you are alone? At least you know the rules of how things work here. At least the people here know my name. Chosen one, let me diagnose your condition. Now, what you are feeling is not a lack of faith. It is a biological addiction to familiarity. Psychologists call this comfort confinement. It is a phenomenon where a prisoner, having become so accustomed to the size of their cell, experiences a panic attack when stepping out into an open field. You have been fighting battles for so long that peace feels rather suspicious. You have been surrounded by dramatic commotion for so long that stillness feels lonely. Therefore, when God tells you to pack your bags, your spirit rejoices, but your nervous system is thrown into shock. Your nervous system screams no. Stay inside your cell. Your cell is safe. This leads a specific deception occurring in the mind of everyone preparing to be extracted. It is the lie of nostalgia for the past. We see this phenomenon manifested perfectly in Numbers 11 verses 5. The Israelites have been liberated from Egypt. They are eating manna, the supernatural bread that falls from heaven. But look at what they are saying. Weeping, they say, we remember when we were in Egypt, we ate fish without armor, cucumbers, hawks, leeks, onions, and garlic. Look at the specificity of that memory. They didn't just say they missed the food. They listed the menu. Cucumbers, watermelons, chives, green onions, and garlic. But note what they did not list. They did not list the whipping. They did not list their life as slaves. They did not list the fact that the children of Sain'이 were thrown into the river. They did not list the bricks they had to bake without a home. Nostalgia for the past is a liar. It edits the tape of your life at will. In your mind, as you pack your bags to leave this season, a highlight video of the things you are leaving behind is playing. You are thinking of the good times you spent with that finite friend. You are thinking of financial stability at that job that is gnawing at your soul. You are thinking of the chemical attraction with that lover who does not fear God. You remember the cucumbers and garlic, yet conveniently forget the whipping. You have forgotten the days you spent crying every night. You have forgotten the anxiety attacks that struck every Sunday night before going to work. You have forgotten how much you had to shrink your existence just to join their crowd. God intends to lead you to the promised land, yet you are weeping because of a handan. Break your agreement with that lie right now. Say this to yourself. I do not miss Egypt. I only miss the familiarity of Egypt. I will not sell my destiny for the memory of a handan. But I know that fear is real. That fear is not simply about longing for the past. It is about the price the future demands. You are asking, what if I pack my bags and leave, but then I fall? Let me tell you about someone who asked the exact same question as you. I will not reveal his name, but he is one of the chosen ones just like you. 8 months ago, he received the exact same message you are receiving now. God told him to pack his bags. He told him to leave an unequal business partnership where he did not share the yoke. That partnership accounted for 80% of his income. But the partner was corrupt. The instruction was clear. Come out. Start packing. I have prepared a new stream for you. But he hesitated. He looked at his bank balance. He looked at his bills. And he made a logical decision. He said, God, I have heard your word, but please give me just 3 months. I will raise a buffer fund. I will pack slowly. I will make a smooth transition. It sounded like wise words. It seemed like responsible behavior, but it was disobedience wrapped in logic. For 3 months, he stayed. He did not pack. He tried to control the extraction process to fit his own conditions. On the 90th day, exactly 3 months later, the collapse occurred. His corrupt partner came under investigation for fraud. All his accounts were frozen. He not only lost the income he had tried to protect, but reputation was also dragged into the mud, simply because he was entangled with that partner. He lost his car. He lost his apartment. Eventually, he ended up sleeping on the sofa at his brother's house. He came to me in tears and asked, why did God let this happen? I intended to leave. I had to tell him the painful truth. God did not destroy you. God evicted you. If you stay past the expiration date of a specific season, protection is withdrawn, grace is withdrawn, and suddenly you are left bearing the full bill for the room you should have vacated. He eventually recovered, but he had to start over from the bottom. He had to walk through the wilderness in a rough manner. Chosen one, I am telling this story, not to scare you, but to save you. Delayed obedience comes at the highest price in the world. You may think you are saving yourself by waiting, hacking slowly, and keeping one foot in the door. No, you are driving yourself into a trap of collapse. When God tells you to start packing, it means the lease has ended. The insurance contract for that old life has been terminated immediately. It is safer to step into the unknown with God than to stay in the familiar with unfamiliar. Now, let me talk about the heaviest bag you are carrying. You can feel it weighing you down right now. It is a bag labeled guilt. As you begin to distance yourself from them, putting those relationships in storage boxes and drawing boundaries, you feel your insides twist. You feel like you are betraying people. You feel like you have become a selfish person. The enemy loves to use your empathy as a weapon to attack you. He says if you were a true Christian, you should stay and help them. If you were a person of true love, you shouldn't cut them off. We must perform surgery on this emotion. Stay in your body, in your mind right now. Try to find where that heavy sinking is. Is it in your intestines? Is it behind your solar plexus? Focus on that. We are going to rename that sensation. It is not. It is the sensation felt when a spaceship is detached. Imagine the scene of a space shuttle launching. To take flight from the ground, you need massive thrusters. However, once you reach a certain altitude, those thrusters become dead weight. Unless a spaceship detaches them, it cannot enter orbit. It will crash. Thrusters, but that is not a malfunction. It is essential physics. The people you leave behind were your thrusters. They helped you survive in the gravity of the past. They served their purpose. However, they were not designed for the altitude of your tomorrow. They do not receive the oxygen needed for where you are going. If you continue to hold onto them out of guilt, you will suffocate them, and you yourself will crash. Letting them go is not an act of hatred. It is an act of mercy. You are letting them go on their own journey and letting yourself go on your own journey. So right now, imagine that heavy feeling inside your stomach as a heavy metal clamp. Visualize yourself rising upward. You are ascending, and as you ascend, that clamp pops open. Watch the heavy loads fall beneath you. Do not look down with regret. Look upward as you head. Feel the lightness return to your body. You are not discarding them. You are obeying your flight schedule. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, speak to your spirit. I let go of the guilt of growing. You feel much lighter. You have packed your bag. You have dealt with it. Psychologically, you are ready to walk out the door. But one puzzle piece is still missing. This is the piece that changes everything. You are still looking at the clock. You are staring only at the calendar. You are thinking, okay, God said, it is my work, but does that mean Tuesday? Does it mean next week? Exactly when is this move going to happen? You are searching for the time But God is not speaking about the time. If you continue to wait only for a specific date, you will miss the portal completely. This is because the tomorrow God has spoken to you does not exist on any clock made by humans. It is something far more mysterious. If you can understand what I am about to say, you are not merely walking into the future. You will be seilak in the future. Stop looking at the calendar. Stop counting the days. Stop waiting for the sun to rise. For what I am about to say will shatter your perception of time. This is the revelation that distinguishes those who merely wait for miracles from those who walk through them. When God spoke of tomorrow, you thought it meant a date. You thought it meant 24 hours later. You thought you were bound by the Earth's rotation. You were thinking in terms of chronological human time, that is, chronos. But God speaks in divinely appointed time, that is, kairos. Here lies the truth the enemy tried to hide from you. Tomorrow is not time. Tomorrow is a dimension. The Hebrew word for tomorrow is mahar. This word carries a much deeper meaning than simply the next day. It signifies the time to come, a future already prepared. Think of a radio channel. Right now you might be tuned to frequency 88.5, the channel of suffering. On this channel you hear only noise, scarcity, and confusion. However, God is broadcasting on frequency 101.5, the channel of tomorrow. On that channel, healing is already taking place. The bank is already filled with abundant supply. The door's already open. These two stations are broadcasting at exactly the same time right now inside this room. The problem is not that God has not sent blessings. The problem is that your receiver is still tuned to yesterday's frequency. God is not saying that He will bless you if you wait 24 hours. He is telling you to sanctify yourself, pack your bags, and change your frequency to align with the dimension where blessings already exist. This is why you feel a sense of division. This is the reason you feel that glitch we mentioned earlier. Your spirit has captured the signal of tomorrow, but your mind is still trying to decipher the noise of today. Learn to live in two dimensions simultaneously makes your soul feel as if it is being torn apart. We see this mystery resolved in Joshua 3 verse 5. The people of Israel are at the edge of the Jordan River. They are trying to cross over to the promised land there tomorrow. Listen to the command Joshua gave them. He did tell them to sharpen their swords. He did not tell them to build bridges. He said this, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do the works that are appointed among you. Look at the order. Sanctification comes first, and miracles come next. He is saying that one cannot enter the dimension of miracles while covered in the dust of the wilderness. To walk into the frequency of the mission, one must first wash away the frequency of the desert. The packing process we have been doing. Burning boxes, severing relationships. That is precisely the work of sanctification. That is what it means to turn the dial. It is to eliminate noise so that you can fixate on a new signal. And once fixed, you do not need to wait for the force to shift. When aligned with God's frequency tomorrow, invades your nea. Today, time collapses. Acceleration occurs. God does in 10 minutes what the world takes 10 years to do. Therefore, the question is not when it will happen. The question is whether your frequency is tuned. Right now, I will give you instructions on how to shift your frequency. This is how to tightly grasp the radio dial of your soul and turn it furiously toward the promise. These instructions have 3 specific steps. I will tell you the first 2 now, but this requires absolute mental discipline. The first step is the control of language. You cannot tune to the frequency of victory while speaking language steeped in blood rituals. It is physically impossible. Every time you complain about the current situation, you are turning the dial back to the channel of suffering. For the next 24 hours, you enter a state of strict language control. You are forbidden from speaking about what is going wrong. It is forbidden to sip wounds again. It is forbidden to agree with the enemy's report. If you cannot speak words of faith, you must choose silence instead. Silence is better than self-destruction. Imagine in your mind that a seal has been placed on your mouth. It is a golden seal that filters out every word. You will never be able to utter a word that does not align with the reality of tomorrow. The second step is to enter the vision. Before your body enters and lives in a new home, you must first live there mentally. You must pass through that door of new opportunity in the spirit before the email even arrives. Try doing this with me right now. This is a mental discipline. Close your eyes on the appearance of the room you are currently in. Block out the furniture. Erase the walls of your present reality. Bring up the memory of the promise. God gave you the clearest picture you have of your tomorrow. Look. Is it a restored home? Is it a work supporting the kingdom of God? Is it a healed and whole body? Zoom in on that. Do not just gaze at it like a movie screen. Walk into it. Feel the ground of the new season beneath your feet. Is it a cafe, a wooden floor, or the paved roads of a new city? Smell the air. Does it smell like rain? Does it smell like the sea? Does it smell like freedom? Now look at the figure within that vision. Look at your face. It is different. Can't you see it? The wrinkles of worry have vanished. The tension in your stiff jaw has released. You are smiling. It is not a fake smile, but perhaps a deep, resonant joy. Hold on to that image. Let it descend. Drive a stake into it. Say to yourself, this is not an illusion. This is a prophecy. This is the channel I am tuning into. This is where I now live. When you open your eyes a moment later, do not return to the reality of the past. Bring this feeling exactly as it is. Overlay this vision onto your current situation. That is how you maintain your frequency. You have decided to control your language. You have put down the brush on the vision. You are turning the dial. The noise is clearing. The music of your destiny begins to be heard clearly and cleanly. However, there is a warning. These instructions contain a third step, and it is the most dangerous one. The reason this step has been left last is that once you step into it, there is no turning back. And you must know this. The moment you successfully shift your frequency and truly fixate on God's tomorrow, you will disappear from the radar of the enemy in the past dimension. And the enemy fears this immensely. If you move within the Spirit, he cannot track you. Therefore, he will not let you simply block his voice. He will smash that radio to pieces at this very moment as you vibrate with a frequency of a new dimension and prepare to take the final step. Dark clouds are gathering beyond your boundaries. The enemy is preparing a final desperate attack to drag your frequency back down to the level of the flesh. The third step is complete separation. This is the stage of declaring war. The first and second steps were controlling language and aligning your frequency with the same God in your vision. The third step is to turn off your frequency toward the world. Safe separation means showing no reaction to the dimensions of the past. It is becoming a ghostly presence to the past. Stop defending yourself. Stop defending your decisions. Camps. Stop trying to make those belonging to the past seasons understand the new map. Just disconnect. This is the exact reason the enemy is rallying forces against you right now. You must understand the timetable of hell. The enemy does not attack when you complain. He does not attack when you are depressed. He does not attack even when you pray for a breakthrough. As long as you stay in the same place, he attacks when you move. We see this principle in Exodus 14, verse 5. Listen to the precise timing presented in this verse. When the king of Egypt learned that the people had fled, Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds toward the people and said, "Why have we done this, letting Israel go from serving us or us?" Did you notice? Pharaoh did not pursue them while the 10 plagues were falling. He did not pursue them even when they were eating the Passover lamb. He pursued them only when he realized they had fled. The enemy was not worried when you were merely saying you would leave. But now, knowing that you have changed your frequency and watching you train for complete separation, the enemy has realized what he has lost. He has lost the way to receive your energy. He has lost the ability to control you. So he is deploying his tanks, strategic facial missiles designed to strike your weakest point just before you cross the boundary. He is unleashing what I call an eviction attack. I will share strategies to defend against the 3 most dangerous forms of attack you will face over the next 72 hours. This is from the Blocking Departure section of the Enemy's Strategy Guide. The first form is guilt inducement. This attack uses your loved ones as weapons. Family members who haven't contacted you for months will suddenly reach out claiming they are in crisis. Friends will accuse you of changing or acting superior. The enemy knows that your heart is weak. He knows that you are a giver. Therefore, he will use your empathy as a weapon to try to bind you back to Titanico. You will hear words like, "How could you leave like this after everything I have done for you?" Or, "I thought we would be together until the end." Do not be deceived. That is not the voice of your mother. It is not the voice of a friend. It is the spirit of Pharaoh who seeks to instill guilt in a slave to make him bake bricks again. If you stop on your current path to make excuses, if you stop to comfort them, you will miss the window of opportunity. You must love them from afar. You must pray for them from atop the departing wagon. But you cannot turn the wagon around. The second form is the most deceptive attack. It is called a sudden opportunity. This brings down even the strongest of the chosen. The very moment you decide to trust God and pack your bags toward the unknown, you are suddenly offered a promotion from the old season. The boss who has ignored you for 5 years suddenly offers a raise. An ex-lover who treated you like trash suddenly returns with flowers and a ring. The opportunity you prayed for so earnestly 3 years ago, an opportunity that would have been a blessing back then, suddenly appears at your door. This is a trap. It is what I call the golden handcuffs. The enemy is trying to buy you back. It is testing whether your ransom is comfort. It is betting that you will settle for the good old days of the past instead of the glory of God that he will give you in the future. Visualize this in your mind right now. Imagine a table. On that table lies a gleaming golden contract. It symbolizes that sudden job restriction or the rekindled relationship. It looks perfect. It looks like an answer to a prayer from the past. Now, look beneath the table with spiritual eyes. Look at the chains connected to that contract. Follow those chains leading into the darkness. Those chains are firmly embedded in the Egyptian floor. If you sign that contract, if you bite that bait, you are fastening yourself to a singing ship with an oar. You have already surpassed the level of that prayer. That blessing is expired food. Do not eat it. Let me tell you the story of a chosen one who faced this exact test. 2 years ago, this man received a calling to begin a ministry. He knew he had to leave the company he was working for. He felt a spiritual pull. He packed his bags and submitted his resignation. On his last day, the company representative called him in and offered him the position he had wanted for 10 years. To double his salary and an executive office, prestige, and stability. It was everything he thought he wanted. He called me with a trembling voice. Maybe God is rewarding me. Maybe I don't have to leave. I told him that is not a reward. It is a bribe from the enemy intended to drive you away from your mission. He was in the fire of that decision for 24 hours. He sweated and wept. But he chose the unknown path. He gave up the money and walked away. 6 months later, that company was indicted on charges of massive. The entire executive team was fired and faced legal punishment. Had he taken that position, he would have sunk along with the ship. Instead, he is safely building a ministry that touches the lives of thousands in this new season. Sudden opportunity is almost always a trap. Discern its source. The third form of confrontation is a false peace. This appears when everything seems to be quiet. Attacks cease, bills are settled, disputes disappear, and the storm suddenly vanishes. And you think, I guess I don't have to leave. Things are getting better. No, things are not getting better. The enemy has merely declared a truce to put you to sleep. He wants to unpack again. He wants you to take off your shoes. He wants you to be at ease again. It is an ambush. The moment you let your guard down, the moment you decide to stay, the attack will return 7 times stronger, and you will lose even the strength to fight back. Do not trust the tranquility of Egypt. The only peace you can trust is the peace that the Promised Land offers. Then how should you face these 3 attacks? You do not fight with arguments. You do not fight with logic. You fight with focus. Try mental armament. Training with me right now. This is your weapon. Close your eyes to your surroundings. Imagine that you are wearing armor. It is not a heavy lump of iron. It is armor made of light. It is smooth and impenetrable armor. Now, imagine the attack of guilt flying toward you like sticky black tar. Watch it strike your armor and slide right off. Oh, it cannot cling to you. This is because the oil of the future is smoothly covering you. Imagine sudden opportunity flying toward you like a golden hook. Watch it strike your breastplate and bounce off. You no longer starve for their bread. Imagine false peace approaching like a mist to make you drowsy. But the helmet of salvation is shining. You are awake. You are on alert. You pierce through the mist. Declare to your spirit, I am not sold. I do not kneel to guilt. I do not stay. I advance. Maintain that stance. Feel the power of a soldier who has received orders from the king. You are not a fleeing refugee. You are an advancing army. You have defeated the enemy outside. You've identified the traps. You have refused bribes. But the war is not yet over. You have dealt with the threat outside the house, but now you must inspect the interior. Finally, you must check the contents of your bag. This is because tonight is not an ordinary night. Tonight is the night of Passover. And for this night, there is a specific checklist given by God. It is an instruction to determine whether the destroyer will pass by your house or enter it. There are 3 things you must do before the sun rises tomorrow. If you miss even one, the door may not open. You have firmly established your vigilance. You have withstood the enemy's ousting attack. You have put on the armor of light. But now we must turn our gaze inward. This is because while fighting the enemy outside the door, we must prepare the sanctuary for the departure. Tonight is your spiritual Passover. Just like the Israelites in Egypt, there are specific tasks you must perform deep within your soul before the angel of Jehovah passes by. This does not refer to physical cleansing. It does not mean wiping the floor. It means disinfecting your soul. We will now examine the departure checklist. These are 3 essential steps you must take within the next few hours to receive flight clearance. If you skip this, you risk bringing a spiritual infection into the new season. The first item on the checklist is digital detox. This does not mean taking a break from social media because you are tired. This is strategic silence. It is touching the portal of comparison. Scan your digital life in your mind right. Who are you following that makes you feel insignificant? Who are you spying on from the past? What revisions are you watching that make you doubt even your calling? These are not just maps. They are windows leading to Egypt. Every time you look into them, you are inviting the spirit of stagnation into your living room. Visualize yourself swiping your phone screen in your mind. Imagine holding a stamp in your hand that reads, canceled. Stamp the accounts that are draining you. Stamp the unproductive chat rooms. Block the watchers who are spying, hoping only for your failure. The block button is not a petty act. It is a spiritual weapon. It is closing the door so that the enemy cannot throw trash into your house. You must silence the watchers. You cannot focus on your own path while obsessing over someone else's. Clean up your feed so you can hear the frequency. The second item on the checklist is a fast of speech. This is crucial for the next stage of conversion. You must set a guard over your mouth. Here is a biblical principle. When Elizabeth was pregnant with John the Baptist, she went into her home. When Zechariah doubted the angel's words, God shut his mouth until the baby was born. Why? Because silence is the incubator of miracles. If you speak of your plans too early, you invite a miscarriage. You draw in the opinions of those who do not understand your womb. You stir up the jealousy of the barren. God has given you a vision of tomorrow. Do not cast that pearl before swine. Do not try to explain the color of the sky to those who have lived only in caves their whole lives. They will simply say that you are hallucinating. Your instructions for tonight are simple. Stop writing. Visualize a golden zipper being fastened on your lips in your imagination. Fasten the zipper. This is not repression. This is condensation. You are building pressure. You are cultivating strength. Every word left unuttered becomes energy reserved for firing. The third item on the checklist is the proclamation of vision. You have eliminated digital noise. You have silenced the noise of language. Now you must fill that vacuum with the reality of where you are going. Look at the promise in Deuteronomy 8. This is a briefing on the land you will enter. God was very specific. He did not merely say it would be a good place. He gave detailed information. Listen to the geography of your tomorrow. The Lord my God will bring you into a beautiful land, a land of valleys and mountains, where streams, springs, and fountains flow, a land of wheat and barley, of vines, radishes, hollies, and honey. It is a land where you lack nothing to eat, and where I lack nothing. Let these words paint a picture in your heart now, then take out. Visualize the blessings. It is quenching of the soul's thirst that you have longed for so much. There will be no more spiritual dehydration. There will be no more struggling. Visualize the wheat and barley. It is the harvest. It is the reward for every seed you sowed with tears. Visualize the bread without lack. It is the end of the consciousness of poverty. It is the end of a life where you barely earned enough to eat day by day. Whether financial or emotional, you are moving from a land of scarcity to a land of overflowing abundance. Firmly kasunod kain upon your spirit. Tonight, when fear tries to seep in again, when the enemy attempts to whisper that you are making a mistake, take out this picture. Say to the enemy, no, I am not going to a funeral. I'm going to a feast. Now, I am the chosen one. The checklist is complete. You have been detached from the frequency of the past. You have identified the trap. You have silenced the spies. You have fixed the gaze of promise. Before we begin the launch sequence, I want to perform one final physical check. Focus on your shoulders right now. For years you have carried a backpack of responsibility. But it was not yours. You have carried the weight of others' expectations. You have carried the shame of past mistakes. But because you have fought a fierce spiritual battle in this image, the buckles of that backpack have already been unbuckled. Take a deep breath. Fill your shoulders with air to the very bottom. And as you exhale, shrug your shoulders inwardly. Do you feel it? That lightness and the tingling sensation flowing down your arms. It is the physical sensation of the past falling away. You have fallen to the floor. You are no longer carrying it. You stand proudly. You have become aerodynamically free of resistance. You are ready to fly. The spiritual atmosphere that filled your room has changed. Do you feel it? The heaviness is gone. The noise has vanished. A holy silence awaiting the command is flowing. The portal to tomorrow is opening. The King of Kings is at the threshold. Everything we have done over the past hour was preparation for this single moment right now. The story is over. The learning is over. Now it is time to act. Only one thing remains. If you are in a safe place, prepare to stand physically. If you are driving or unable to stand, prepare to enter in spirit. This is because we are now going to activate the command. We will seal the departure. Are you ready? Stand up. If physically possible, stand on your 2 feet right now. If you cannot stand, enter inward. Stand your spirit high. Place your right hand on your chest. This is the posture of receiving orders. It is the posture of a soldier, ready to carry out a mission without further questioning. This is not a request for prayer. It is not a begging for God to fulfill what He has already promised. This is a ritual of stamping a seal. We will close the door of yesterday and lock the door of tomorrow from the inside so that you cannot leave. Heavenly Father, in the strong and great name of Yeshua Jesus Christ, the King of Glory, we stand before this threshold. We declare that the spiritual atmosphere of this room has changed. The timeline has shifted. The malfunction has been corrected. We acknowledge that every word proclaimed in this message is not merely information, but an eviction notice to the enemy and an invitation to destiny. Father, we thank you for this chosen one who is here. The Lord knows the price they had to pay to reach this moment. You watched them from the inner room as they packed the boxes. You saw the tears they shed as they placed their cherished harmful memories into the incineration box. You saw their trembling hands as they placed the seasons in storage boxes in the past. You know the fear they fought. You know the guilt they felt. Yet they did not look back. They did not become pillars of salt. They continued to advance. And that faithfulness earned them the qualification to enter the dimension of tomorrow. Therefore, at this very moment, by the authority of the living word, I seal the word accomplished within their spirits. I seal the subject's instructions. I declare that what was burned will remain as sin. The bitter root has vanished. The wound has been incinerated. It can never be reassembled. What was stored is buried in history. It will not be able to torment their future. And what was contained in their carry-on luggage, their pure faith, will be supernaturally protected. I seal the shift of frequency. I command their spiritual receivers to be fixed on the channel of tomorrow. I shatter that dial so that they can never again turn channel to the noise of the past. I bind the spirit of Pharaoh attempting to pursue them. I declare that the waters of the Red Sea are now striking them from behind. Guilt cannot cross over. False peace cannot cross over. Sudden opportunity cannot cross over. The enemy has been submerged in the waves of their obedience. I seal digital detoxification in the fasting of language. I declare that a barrier of fire has been erected around their hearts and lips. No weapon forged to distract their focus will be of any use. Now, I prophesy toward your near future. I declare that you have stepped out of Chronos and into the time of Kairos. I declare that the tomorrow you have waited for is invading your door today. I declare that within the next 40 hours you will see physical evidence of this spiritual movement. A phone call will come confirming your departure. Provision will appear to support your journey. The outstanding peace of all perception will guard your heart, and that will be proof that you have left the battlefield. You enter a land where streams flow. You enter a land where bread is eaten without lack. The struggle for survival is over. The season of stewardship has begun. Now, chosen one, heaven casts a final question upon you. Angels hold pens to record your answer. Will you go? Will you step out of familiar and to embrace unfamiliar glory? Will you trust God even when the map is invisible? If the answer is yes, open your mouth and speak aloud. Shout to the air. Say yes. Say, I am ready. Say, I am going forth. Heaven heard the sound. The earth heard the sound. Hell heard the sound. It is written. It is decided. It is accomplished. You have received your mission. You are not a scapegoat fleeing from the fire. You are a general marching toward the throne. Now go, chosen one. You have been released from the standby. You have been released from the waiting room. You have been freed from the guilt of growing. Walk within it. Take it as your own. Do not look back. In the name of Yeshua, who opens doors that man cannot close and closes doors that man cannot open, do not say Amen yet. Remain in this silence for 60 seconds. Do not turn it off. Do not rush to the next video. Let the weight of this glory seep deep into your bones. Wait until the ink on the seal dries. You are free